You know that feeling when a story just grabs you and won't let go? That's the kind of drama that's waiting for you on Disney Plus Hulu. Mysterious post-apocalyptic thrillers like the acclaimed Hulu original, Paradise. Action-adventure dramas like Daredevil, Born Again. And iconic medical dramas like Grey's Anatomy. Or maybe you want your drama with a side of comic relief with shows like High Potential. Find the drama you want on Disney Plus and Hulu with a bundled subscription. Terms apply.
You got mail.
Hi, I'm Alise Morales.
And I'm Millie Tamaris.
And this is Go Touch
Touch
Grass, the podcast where we log in
so you can log off.
Millie and I are two chronically online comedians, and on this pod, we break down the week in internet discourse, viral memes, TikTok trends, and niche influencer dramas so that you can go do literally anything else with your time.
And if you like what you hear today and you want to hear more, we got to Go Touch Grass Patreon with tons more content weekly, access to our Discord community, and our spin-off series, Search History, where we go back and break down a viral discourse from the past. Our latest Patreon is about the Manosphere doc. We have complicated feelings.
Yeah, we've been covering the Manosphere on the pod and on the Patreon for a while, and we're not going to say we've done a better job than Louis Theroux, but we're not going to say we did worse.
Yeah, exactly. With a fraction of the budget, what we're able... I mean, to talk about the Manosphere and to not mention that Clavicular hit someone with a Tesla, you're just...
There were things that were missed.
Holes. There were things that were missed. BBC and Netflix, we have some fucking thoughts.
We have some thoughts. You have money to put behind this, clearly. We have some
you
thoughts.
got money. Listen, Millie and Alise can get down with it for half the price of Louis Theroux.
Yes. And you know what I'll add in? My pitch from the Patreon, which is an animated Muppet Babies-esque show called Manosphere Babies that stars baby Sneeko, obviously, but all the babies are there as well.
Yes. You know what? Oh my God, you're saying Muppet Babies, but it would be like Rugrats. Like...
It would be a combination of the two.
Of Rugrats. But yeah, like just seeing, I mean, and in a way, like if you're into sociology, if you're buying into this and all this stuff, like if you're on this roller coaster with me, like the point and why we came to the conclusion of like, we want to see animated versions of the baby versions of these right-wing red pill influencers is because at their core, they behave like children.
Yeah.
And it would be even funnier to see their childlike tantrums, to even more ridiculous situations than who played the anti-Semitic song in a nightclub.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Netflix, Manosphere Babies is open to you. We are happy to do a follow-up and more in-depth documentary. Reach out to Go Touch Grass. Speaking of reaching out to Go Touch Grass, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review. We love reviews. We need more of them. But the best review you can give us is to tell your friends about the show. Tag us in a story. Repost it. You know we're online. If you comment on Spotify, we'll comment back. We'll comment back. And again... What are we saying, Alise? You know, today, I mean, not to get off topic too much, but today I was listening to The Daily. What was their episode yesterday? About Clavicular. Yep.
When did Go Touch Grass break Clavicular? And this is what I'm saying. Tell your friends that if they want to know about Clavicular months ahead of the New York Times, and they want to support two Latinas that are breaking the story.
Yeah.
Review it. Tell your friends, give us a review, spread the word.
Say, you don't need The Daily.
You
gotta Go Touch Grass.
Yeah, The Daily has ExxonMobil. We don't gotta.
No, ExxonMobil does not sponsor us.
The ExxonMobil does not sponsor us yet. No, I'm kidding. Well, I mean, listen.
If they'd answer our emails.
If they'd answer our... please.
We sent them our one sheet hundreds of times. Our pitch deck is in their inbox, but
you know, ExxonMobil their PR manager's like, hey, we don't want someone who's talking about huge nipples to represent our brand.
Well, maybe they need it.
Maybe they need it. Maybe they need it. If I was their mother. Speaking of Vladimir Putin, speaking of us being online, don't forget to check out I'm going to take out the Putin thing because then we will be shadow banned on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of us being online, don't forget to check out our full video episodes on YouTube where you'll be able to watch the videos along and get extra moments that don't make it to audio.
And don't forget to check out GoTouchGrassPodcast.com for all things Grass Nation. Housekeeping is over.
Housekeeping is done.
Housekeeping is done. Millie.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Actually, we don't need any.
Yeah.
We don't need any more.
Do not disturb.
Do not
disturb.
We're having sex in here, so don't come in.
Yes.
I have a cursed content for you today. We haven't done a cursed content in a while.
I know. I'm trying to think of our last cursed content.
I think it was the Melania movie.
Was it the Melania movie fan fiction by Kevin?
And this is in a similar vein. This is it lives in the world of weird conservative Twitter fan fiction. It comes from none other than ex-overlord himself, Elon Musk.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to read something that he tweeted. I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to have you read it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what was said here.
Is this penance because I made you read the Shannon Sharp sex?
Yes, but it's not as bad as the Shannon Sharp sex. Like, it's not fundamentally something that you would get canceled for having said in your voice. It's just, it's Elon Musk, so it's so fucking lame. Okay. Millie, can you read this tweet from Elon Musk?
What is his new avatar? Is it an animated version of him that's smoking a cigarette?
It's like I think it's like one of those like Wii images, like and it's him. It's kind of like that famous thing of him on Rogan smoking weed, I think. But it's like a Wii, like Wiimoji or Memoji version.
What a loose.
I mean, it's once we read the tweet, it's like the levels of loserdom are unbelievable. But
my son Saxon is so base that he would just order milk when we went to dinner in LA. This would always stun the waitstaff, as they had never heard anyone actually order milk. He has also unironically ordered a cheeseburger at a very uptight sushi restaurant that doesn't even allow you to order supplemental soy sauce. When the waiter recovered from this request to reply that they don't have cheeseburgers, Saxon said, "Fine, I'll have a hamburger."
Ha 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 ha. What a cool son. He's so based. He drinks milk and orders food that a restaurant doesn't serve.
I just like sometimes, and I mean, this is like what I teach in stand-up when I teach stand-up, but it's like, what is behind the joke? Like, what is the joke actually? The joke is that your son is rude to waitstaff.
The joke is that your son orders weird stuff at restaurants, and then because you're Elon Musk, they have to like try to scramble to serve you. Also, like, uptight sushi restaurant, you chose to go there. You brought your son there.
If you know that your son likes, you're in LA and you can't find a nice place to get a cheeseburger, like, you're a loser. I would also say, this is also a thing, right? I was gonna say, like, he's a fucking little kid. Like, he doesn't want sushi. But actually, there is, like, this new phenomenon amongst, like children. Like, Gen Alpha and, like, younger loves sushi. Like, little kids are, like, in
I loved sushi as a kid. Sushi's delicious. Whatever.
Well, it's just, we can't. So I'm not even going to say, like, why would you take your kid to an uptight sushi restaurant? I'm like, some kids like sushi, and especially if you're really rich. But if your kid's asking for a cheeseburger, you're in fucking LA. Go to In-N-Out. Take your kid to Denny's. Sounds like your kid wants to go to Denny's.
Okay, so I have two questions. Number one, do we even think this is true?
That he spent time with his kid?
I mean, that like his son is so based, he is always ordering milk, and that his son is so based that he's like so funny that he'll order a cheeseburger, and then when they're like, we don't have one, he's like, I'll have a hamburger instead. The second part is the part I don't think actually happened.
I just think that, well, somebody else, I saw someone posture that like and I'm being very flippant when I say this, but like kids say dumb shit all the time, but like when you spend a lot of time with them, it doesn't like, they say little things. They're like learning about the world. So of course they're going to say something silly, but like if you like, nobody's tweeting nonstop what the fuck their kid is saying because they're spending time with them every day. But because Elon Musk probably spends 1 day a year per kid, like he's like fascinated, and like he does, like people are saying like it could be real because his like astonishment at like a child saying something like correct, like not correct, like I don't even know, crazy, funny, rude, like is it just shows that like it's not something that happens every day. So that's the only reason why I think that it's real.
So here's my other question: is how old do you think Saxon is?
I've heard all kinds of things. I heard he might be 5. I heard he might be 13. I heard he might be 16.
He's 20.
18, 20.
He's a 20-year-old man. He's extremely based. Saxon Musk is so based. He's...
I mean, that's humiliating.
And I'm
that's
like,
tough.
Maybe he's talking about stuff from when he was a kid, but I'm like, why did you tweet this now? My son is so based. He orders milk at every restaurant, and he goes to sushi and orders a cheeseburger. It's a 20-year-old man.
I know, but you know what? This reminds me of my suitcase with Baron Trump. Like, where is Saxon Musk? Like, if he's in college, like, he can't live through that. Like, there's no way that, like, people are... Because I'm just thinking back to Baron Trump and having people yell out, I like my suitcase, to him in, like, NYU. So, I'm like, Saxon
Musk. God
Saxon
bless.
Musk... If I sat behind Saxon Musk in class, I'd be like, hey, Saxon, can I borrow a pen? And you're like, hey, and I'm like, man, that's so based.
Yeah. I'd be like, hey, Saxon, you want some fucking milk, bro? You thirsty for some milk?
I heard you love fucking
milk.
Hamburger.
It's just, I don't know. It felt like such cursed content to me when I read it, because I was like, number one, it shows just Elon Musk's his still obsession with thinking he's funny, and then the stuff he says is not funny at all. There is nothing based about ordering milk at a restaurant. Like, you can do it. They have it. People don't usually do that because people don't really drink milk like that in the U.S. culturally in that way really anymore. And then the idea that, like, you're getting one over on a sushi restaurant by ordering a hamburger there and, like, being quippy with them. It's like, no, you're just annoying people at a sushi restaurant. Why? Like I don't understand why, what is, like, based about going to a place that definitely doesn't serve hamburgers and trying to demand that they serve you one as, like, a weird insult to what they do, when it's like, you're here. You chose to come to this fancy sushi restaurant. You're Elon Musk. You probably made a reservation. Like, you're probably getting the red fucking carpet rolled out for you at this sushi restaurant. And then your shitty kid is like, I don't like the food. I want a hamburger. Like, what? And what's funny or based about any of it? It's just sick.
I just, like, feel like his dad... I mean, as we talked about inside the manosphere, it's like half of the bad shit in this country... I would say half of the... I'm going to go ahead and say half of the bad shit in this country is because, like, a man's core wound with his father, and he made it everyone else's problem.
Yep. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, all these fucking manosphere guys.
Vince McMahon. I'm telling you, like the Corporate Gossip podcast, which just talks about, like, it basically goes through each CEO, and I'm like, half of these crazy CEOs with, like, terrible workplaces and abusive, like, core wound is like their dad was mean to, like, just
like their dad treated them like shit and thought they weren't worth anything, and so now they like make that the world's problem.
The world's problem, and they make content about it. And
and
then they have the ear of Barron Trump.
Okay, speaking of something that is the world's problem.
Oh my God. Speaking of beating men.
Yeah. Speaking of things that content is being made about, we've got to get into today's discourse. And today's discourse is a doozy. Today we are talking about Miss Taylor Frankie Paul, star of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and would-be star of The Bachelorette, though that is no longer happening for reasons we will get into. Oh boy, I guess I should do a disclaimer up top that like we're going to be discussing domestic violence in this episode. We are going to play a video of a domestic violence related incident. You're going to hear the audio of that. Just, you're welcome to skip around that, not listen to that in any way that you want, but like just a heads up, that is like the central focus of this discussion, and there is a video that we do have to like watch and listen to.
Yeah.
So, let's begin.
Jesus. I love when we start an episode like that. Like,
I know, where we have to be like, so you know, everything that we're going to talk about is really fucked up, and like we're a comedy podcast, so we're going to be making jokes, but also like, you know, it's fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the Diddy episode.
I know.
Epstein.
Well, yeah, then we were like, the theme of last year was pedophilia, and we're like, yeah, we just had to figure that out. This will not touch on pedophilia. It's just standard domestic violence that occurred in front of a child. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, who is Taylor Frankie Paul? If you don't know, Taylor Frankie Paul is a 31-year-old Utah-based influencer who is basically the central figure of the show Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Hulu. Prior to Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, it was her reveal that Mormon Mom Talk had a soft swinging scandal. It was basically her that broke the story that all of these Mormon moms that were referred to as Mom Talk on TikTok, that actually they were like sleeping with each other's husbands and stuff. And there was swinging going on. That scandal had its own like break the internet moment. And that scandal is what eventually led to the show The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and is kind of like the vehicle that starts the show, though now the show's gone in like a lot of different directions beyond the swinging of it all.
Yeah.
Taylor Frankie Paul is like undisputably the central figure of the entire show. She's the leader of Mom Talk.
She has the most followers too.
Most followers. A lot of the show is about other members of the Mormon Wives trying to unseat her as the leader of Mom Talk and always failing.
Yeah.
Because as Millie and I have discussed, and when we talked about it we've talked about Mormon Wives on Patreon and in person, like Taylor Frankie Paul is a true reality TV star. She has it. She has the messiness necessary. It is intrinsic in her personality to be the vehicle of the center snowflake of a reality show.
And I think it's because she has the messiness, but then also has some capacity to self-reflect, you know, and take some kind of take accountability, whether if it's enough or whatever. But I think like because for many seasons she's been able to balance that, like she's very impulsive, very messy, but also she'll be like, oh, I don't know why I did that, that was stupid, that was not a good choice, whatever. And then also she will do something like crazy, and I hate to say crazy, whatever, but she will do something and then immediately be like, I'm really sorry. Like, those are the tenets of a good, like, when we're talking about good housewife, good reality star, it's like that balance of they're able to move on, they're able to forgive, and they're able, but they also are very honest. So.
Yeah. And like, so she's able to walk the line of being like the source of an enormous amount of drama and intrigue, but never becoming the villain of the show. Cause that's like, you know, that's the danger, is like, if you are constantly causing drama, then people might not like you. You might become the villain, etc. We've seen a couple Mormon wives who have tried to challenge her as being the leader of the group. They end up becoming the villain because they don't have the je ne sais quoi of Trailer Frankie Paul, the ability to like be Miss Messy but not be hated by the viewers. So it's like, it's a skill, and she's got it. So that is the first person involved in all of this. Her partner, her on-again, off-again ex, and the father of her son is a man named Dakota Mortensen. He is 32 years old. They have a son together named Ever True. She has 2 other children with her ex-husband from the swinging scandal, whose names are Indy and Ocean. We can't get into the things Mormon women are naming their kids. Yeah, like we just
can't do it.
That's not our culture.
That's not our culture
to speak on. The kids' names are Ever True, Indy, and Ocean. And Ever True is her child with Dakota. So currently Dakota's job is listed as businessman.
I don't know, girl. He's a fucking, I mean, I don't know if we're going to get into it, but.
Oh, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. This is just the top line.
Yeah,
if you
I'm
look
like,
up
I have thoughts.
If you
Dakota.
look up what his job is now, it's quote unquote businessman. But actually, he's not like a stranger to reality TV himself. Mormon Wives is not the first time he's been on reality TV. In his 20s, he was a contestant on NBC's Survivor like dupe show called The Island, where they like all had to go be on an island.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. That I learned doing this research too. And then a big part of his backstory on the show is that he has past struggles with addiction. He was addicted to fentanyl. He doesn't drink anymore.
Heroin too, I've heard.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's all opioids in general. He had a really big problem. And so his addiction recovery is a big part of like his narrative on the show. So let's get into Dakota and Taylor on the show. So Season 1, Episode 1 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Taylor and Dakota are together, but they're already embroiled in a lot of drama and fighting. This is chalked up to them both having trust issues, etc.
Basically, it's like Dakota lies. And she catches him. He like cheats and talks to other women. But then Taylor's very explosive and she reacts. And then they break up in a very loud way. And then they get back together. And then it's like a cycle where he like cheats on her again. And like that's like.
Yeah, this is a constant cycle on the show, is that Taylor is always finding out that Dakota has been sleeping with other women, messaging other women, talking to women behind her back. He's a cheater. She freaks out. She has emotional regulation issues.
Issues, yes.
I would say.
And but also like the people that he's cheating with too are like strategically people that it's not like random people. It's like all people in her circle, like her mom's friend, her friend, like it's like not just that he's a cheater, but he's cheating on like to intentionally embarrass her.
So this is like throughout all the seasons, but even just going to Season 1, Episode 1 famously ends with this scene where we see the police are being called to Taylor and Dakota's residence for a domestic violence incident. Taylor is drunk, Dakota is not, and then in the final moments we see her being arrested and being taken away in the police car. Then Episode 2 picks up 11 months after that arrest, and Taylor is pregnant with Dakota's child.
Yeah, very pregnant.
Very pregnant. So it's like, as far as like the 1-2 punch of the first 2 episodes of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, no one's ever done it like them.
and like hooked. Like
Hooked.
you're hooked. You're immediately like, fuck. As somebody who watched it, like you think it's gonna be about the swinging scandal, and then immediately it's about like, oh shit.
Yeah, oh shit, she's been arrested. Oh shit, next episode she's pregnant with this guy's baby. So it's like, whoa.
And expressing doubt. She's like, you are a red flag.
So yeah, from there, as you already said, Millie, it's like there is just this constant back and forth of toxic drama between Taylor and Dakota. Dakota is...
I think he's a demon.
Yeah, Dakota, you kind of have to watch the show a little bit, but he has the vibes of the worst guy your friend has ever brought around.
Yeah.
He's very obviously manipulative in the way that he talks. He does cheat on her constantly and in particularly humiliating ways. And then that is contrasted with the fact that Taylor, as I said, has some pretty serious emotional regulation issues that she is hopefully getting help for now.
Well, it's also that with Taylor, she has a lot of value issues. She doesn't think she's worth it. She has like low self-esteem. You see that, like she struggles with that. And that's also part of why I think she can't, or like she was never successfully a villain before this on the show, is because she's very like out with her insecurities and out with like,
her vulnerability is very visible.
Yeah, and like she'll be very honest. So she's like, I know this guy sucks. I know he's bad, but I don't think I deserve better. Or I don't. So you're like seeing that, and of course, how are you going to be mad at her about that?
Well, and also there was that scene last season, which I'm actually not caught up on the current season that's airing right now.
Oh, the current season is really like, it is a shift into something much, 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 much darker that I can talk about in a second. But what were you going to say?
There was that scene in the most recent season where like her parents are kind of slut-shaming her and blaming her for being in a toxic relationship. So there's like, Taylor Frankie Paul has a lot of issues, and we're going to get into those issues. Like, she has done things that are wrong, but I think to speak to why she's never the villain of the show, it's because you develop this compassion for her when you see like stuff with her parents, stuff with Dakota, like you just have this feeling of like, oh God, this is a girl who like really struggles to feel validated and seeks validation from people who withhold it from her.
Yeah.
And that's how she's now in this toxic cycle. I mean, all the husbands of Mormon wives are so bleak.
Well, I think it's really like, right, Mormonism in this country and like whatever is like really upholds some of the most toxic, strong values of patriarchy, where it says, you know, in their scripture, I mean, you know, don't quote me on the Mormon Bible, but from what my interpretation is, and even references in this latest season, is like that the Bible says like men's opinion ranks higher than women. And like there's all this really, you know, really strict patriarchal things that are the backbone of Mormon culture and Mormon religion, that, you know, that is also why Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is fascinating, but also Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So you're seeing this like backdrop of patriarchy and religion and community like completely in like fighting with extreme capitalism, individualism, and also like that these women are extremely successful millionaire influencers who are getting book deals, television deals, all this stuff. And like, it's like their husbands grappling with like their women having power, and instead of like dealing with it, like, especially in this last season, it's like them putting them down. So that also why this is like relevant is because, you see Taylor being extremely vulnerable. You understand even with other women in the show that like the extreme limits of patriarchy to these women's lives, and you see other women deal with it and like they have similar issues. Also, Dakota, it has all his flaws, and also like you see the pattern over and over again where if there's something really big and exciting in Taylor's life, it will drop that he has been sleeping with his mom's friend, or like all this shit. Like, that's where like, so that is also why you feel for Taylor and you're like, you're rooting for her.
Yeah.
To get out of it.
Exactly. So that's the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. But there's actually another reality show involved here, and that is The Bachelorette. So, in September of 2025, Taylor Frankie Paul was announced as the Bachelorette for the new season of The Bachelorette. Now, were you ever a Bachelor person? Did you ever get into Bachelor
the Black
Nation?
season. I watched
You watched Rachel Lindsay?
Yeah, because I was like, oh, and then after that they had weird, it never really went
I
back
feel
to
like the
Rachel
show
Lindsay.
has really struggled, honestly, since Rachel Lindsay's season.
Yeah.
To find its footing. So this announcement that Taylor Frankie Paul was going to be the Bachelorette was a really big deal for a couple different reasons. Normally, the way the Bachelor and Bachelorette universes have worked is that it's kind of this closed loop of the Bachelor is usually one of the fan favorite contestants from the last season of The Bachelorette or a recent season of The Bachelorette. The Bachelorette is usually a fan favorite from a past season of The Bachelor. There's also Bachelor in Paradise, where people go, and it's another spinoff show where they can potentially meet other people, but then also gain enough favor with the fan base that maybe they can become the Bachelor or Bachelorette from Paradise. But it's usually this closed loop of them selecting other Bachelor people. But the Bachelor franchise, both The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, all of those shows have really been struggling for the past several years to find their footing in the current dating reality show landscape. A lot of what initially made the show fun, it's just really hard now when basically everyone on there, you can tell they're going on to just become an influencer. And the central thing of the show is always is the person here for the wrong reasons? And everyone's everyone is. And you can kind of,
Well, it's also now because it's a closed loop, they run into a problem where anyone who enters the loop potentially wants to enter it for a long time.
Exactly.
And for all the things, not because of whatever. So I could see why that kind of creates problems of these aren't real people, and it's kind of invasive because it's you do get this sudden attention, and can you ever go back to working a regular job and blah 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 blah.
And also
right?
they've kind of created a situation where winning the show, winning the heart of the Bachelor or the Bachelorette is actually the worst thing you can fucking do, because now you can't go on Paradise. Now you can't be the Bachelor next season because you won, unless they dump you or some weird thing happens. But it's so really what people are actually competing for is to get far enough that you endear yourself to the crowd, but to not actually win.
Or to be a star couple. And then you have to, or if you win, you guys have to be together a certain amount of time, and you have to do it both of you, because also, but with Rachel Lindsay, I'm thinking, right, she married the guy from the show, and she had a very messy divorce where she actually had to pay him insane alimony, insane whatever. And she talks about the pressure and because one, it was because they both want to get a certain thing, but also because she was popping off more than he was, there was resentment, which is also showing off. And this is also tied to Secret Lives of Mormon Wives too, of that's kind of half the show is if the girl pops off more than the guy, that's whatever. But anyway, with Bachelor, people don't want to get married. They want to stay in the system, because also if you don't stay in the system, you can't really go back to being, you can maybe go back to being a regular human, but now a bunch of people have seen your Instagram, and now all these women want to sleep with you. You're not going to live a normal life, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just The Bachelor has just ended up in a really precarious place. And a lot of reality dating shows have this issue of people just going on to be influencers, but it's become a really acute issue on The Bachelor, and the viewership has declined dramatically. So this announcement that they're going to pull someone from a different Hulu ABC family franchise and put her at the center of The Bachelorette was it made waves because people were like, oh, okay, they're clearly trying to find a way to revitalize the Bachelor franchise. Like, clearly the Bachelor franchise is in a bad spot generally, and they need to do something to shake it up. And so the choice of not just someone from a different franchise, but someone who is known to bring a high level of drama, someone with like the reputation of Taylor Frankie Paul, which is like this ultimate reality star kind of messy gal, people were like, oh, okay. ABC and Hulu are taking a big fucking swing to try to make sure that people watch this season of The
And
Bachelorette.
I was gonna watch. I'm like, I am.
Oh, I would have watched. I would have been seated for Taylor Frankie Paul's season of The Bachelorette. Don't you worry. I have a whole group chat with my other two friends where I had a hard prediction that I was like, Dakota will appear on this season in some way, shape, or form. It's lost media. We'll never know if I was right.
Wow.
We'll never know. Going to get into the lost media of it all in a bit. But basically, so Taylor Frankie Paul is announced as The Bachelorette. And you can speak maybe more to this point now, but there is also a season of Mormon Wives that is currently airing. And the fact that she has been chosen as The Bachelorette and is getting ready to go on The Bachelorette, and her relationship with Dakota leading up to going on The Bachelorette is a huge central focus of this season in a way that I'm like, okay, ABC and Hulu did this to be like, Mormon Wives is super duper popular. Everyone's going to watch Mormon Wives. If we focus the Mormon Wives season on The Bachelorette, we will feed all these Mormon Wives fans directly to The Bachelorette because they're going to want to watch it to see how all of the drama is like interacting. It's kind of like what they did with fucking Vanderpump Villa, because Vanderpump Villa is like a failed Vanderpump spinoff, but then they had the Mormon Wives go to Vanderpump Villa, have drama with one of the characters on Vanderpump Villa in hopes of like sending more people to that show. So I think that's just in general something that Hulu is doing and these shows are doing to try to force their like failing franchises to give them a bump. They will send the characters from a really popular one to that franchise and make it part of the drama of the show. So you feel like, oh, I need to watch all this other stuff to totally understand what's happening on the season of the show I actually like.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's like a failing thing. I think that's a thing that just most media companies are doing now since the success. I would even say to Marvel, like, you can't understand this with that, because even NBC with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, they did an episode where their girls trip was on the below deck yacht. So they had both the below deck capturing and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Real Housewives of so like below deck fandom is a whole different fandom. So I think it's like kind of what you're saying, but I don't think it's necessarily like a negative thing. And I will say that with Vanderpump Villa, that is a thing, because again, people cheated on people that they met in Vanderpump Villa when the women went. And then part of season 4 is that they invited the men to go without the women. And even at Vanderpump Villa, Dakota fucked some girl. Like, so again, in a way that it's like, you're cheating in a very public way that's going to humiliate the girl that you're with, where she's just like, I don't care if you like whatever, we're not even dating anymore, but like it's like all these jobs. So basically, I will also say too that like another reason why it's not necessarily failing, it's also because like maybe to some people like Secret Wives, and I'm not sure about the numbers, but like Secret Wives of Mormon Lives, like, or Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like all of those mom talk girls, they all have their following. But then obviously getting on TV gave them a bump, and it like being on TV is the biggest influencer bump you want. And then especially when you go network TV, even if it's the ratings are going down, like that's still millions and millions of people. So basically the whole season, you're seeing the other mom talk girls like, Taylor, you really need to get it together before, like, and they're all kind of pushing her to go. Her family's pushing her, like everyone's just like, you are representing mom talk, and they're all like, I'm really worried about the Dakota stuff, whatever. So throughout the thing is like every time Taylor's about to promote The Bachelor, or when Dakota found out, like he slept with her best friend's friend or something, like, just really like, and then you just see her continue to go back, and it's just like, it's not only like the friend, and yeah, it's just like extremely unhealthy. She's not emotionally regulated, like, and it, there's a scene where she brings another reality star, Harry Jowsey, to the house, and like to make him jealous, to make Dakota jealous, and her and Dakota start fighting, like, so like much that Harry Jowsey gets uncomfortable and like leaves, and he's like, this is really weird, like, and then all the other Mormon wives are like, we're just used to it. So like, it's just like the toxic couple friend, but it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just really, really sad to watch, because basically the day before she's supposed to leave, like, Dakota goes and drops off the baby, and then like leaves the next morning, and then Taylor like doesn't want to get out of bed to go to the, like, she misses her flight, and like her mom has to, like, they have to physically get her. So it's just really sad, but like, exactly, like, it was going to bleed into, but the framing too around pushing her was like, also, this situation with Dakota is so toxic, and even she was saying that, she's like, it'll be nice to not have my phone and to be away from him in this whole situation and have like a clean environment. So that's also what she was looking forward to too. And with the 2023, like, I don't know, because you're in season 3, like, it looked like she was turning a corner and she was like making a healthier road, and like she was in recovery. She hadn't slept with Dakota for a year. Season 4 like was all these steps back, but also just like, I can see like this was just darker behavior than you've ever seen. I don't know. So it's just,
but it
really
seems
sad.
like, and the reason I say the thing about like the failing franchise in this instance is it seems like they organized this season of Mormon Wives to feed directly into The Bachelor, which needs a boost in ratings, which is kind of similar to like Vanderpump Villa was like, no one was fucking watching Vanderpump Villa. So I feel like they manufactured related drama between the two franchises to maybe send people over to Vanderpump Villa. And I think that they will like use these crossovers to do that. And so my guess would be, as someone who has watched several seasons of The Bachelor, that the point, Taylor's season, the point was going to be, oh, I'm finally going to find a non-toxic love. I'm going to be better. I'm going to find someone who loves me and I can trust them. I'm going to work through all these trust issues. And that was going to be like the arc of her season, probably, with what they set up. And like the big reveal also at the end is that, she and Dakota slept over with each other right before the season began. And he said like, save a rose for me to her. So it's kind of like setting up this idea of like, will she ever truly leave Dakota? Can someone on The Bachelor make her actually not choose Dakota? Which is also why I think he was going to show up, and maybe we'll never know. Whatever.
I'll also say, like, there was a scene that made me really uncomfortable where he was like, we had sex, like, unprotected, and, like, she might be pregnant. Ha. Like, is she gonna be the pregnant bachelorette? Like, and it's just like, ugh, yuck.
Yeah.
Like,
but they're sending out, that's the thing, is like, they're trying to create all of this stuff is like, it's real, it's reality TV, these are real people, these are real things that happen, but there is like a television machine behind it that's like, oh, okay, amazing. We can use this season to bleed into this and to blah, 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 blah.
Of course, yeah.
But doesn't matter. None of that matters because it all came crashing down on Monday, March 16th, when People published an exclusive saying that season 5 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, so season 4 just aired, season 5 currently filming, that this filming was halted after another domestic violence situation and investigation involving Paul and Dakota that took place in late February. A spokesperson for the Draper City Police Department confirmed that there is an open domestic assault investigation and that allegations have been made in both directions, and contact was made with the involved parties on February 24th. and 25th. Taylor Frankie Paul's season of The Bachelorette was supposed to premiere Sunday, March 22nd. So the day before we recorded this episode, we should have had episode 1 of Taylor Frankie Paul's Bachelorette. So this comes out in People, right? Information starts coming out really fast. So first we hear about this incident. Then we start to get more details. Apparently, the incident involves Taylor Frankie Paul choking Dakota with a necklace. And then he also says that their son was in the home and was woken up by Taylor Frankie Paul's yelling. And then he says that he left the house, but then he comes back. And when he came back, she threw a phone at him and tried to block his car from leaving the driveway, and that she threw a drink at him, and that he had to push Paul off of him at some point. This is all coming from Dakota.
Yeah.
By the way, just to put this is not from a police reports. This is Dakota coming forward to say what had happened.
Directly to People.
Yeah. Directly to, this is either to TMZ or to People, this bit, but People did the first exclusive, and that's them breaking it from insiders and then talking to the police. And then this next follow-up is Dakota being this is what happened. So then he said that after he left, he got a message from Paul in which she said that she had a bloody nose and had to go to the hospital, which he says he believed was an attempt for her to get him to come back and not call the police. By Tuesday, Mortensen had been granted a protective order against Paul. So that's a temporary restraining order. He got one against her. And then by Wednesday, Taylor Frankie Paul goes on Good Morning America because she had an already scheduled appearance there to talk about her upcoming season of The Bachelorette. But now all of this has come out, so we're just going to watch her on Good Morning America.
We want to turn to our new Bachelorette, the breakout star of Mom Talk and the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Taylor Frankie Paul is with us. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And I want to hear all about your Bachelorette journey, but first I want to give you the opportunity to respond to recent headlines about the alleged domestic violence incident with your ex-boyfriend. What do you want to share with us about this?
Honestly, it's been a heavy time. To see the headlines, especially during this time of The Bachelorette being released, and it's supposed to be a really exciting time. I'm a person that will always speak my truth, and that's what I'm known for, and so when the time is right, I will be. But right now, just trying to be in the present moment and focus on this. But the thing is my kids do come first. Mm-hmm. My kids come first, and so it's been just a back and forth process, trying to be here in the present moment, worrying about, home and headlines. It's been stressful, to be honest.
We did reach out to Dakota, and we did not, for a statement, we did not get a response from him. Now we have reports that The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has paused production on the next season. I know there's a season on right now, and then season 5 was in production. Reports say it's paused. Is that true?
Honestly, I don't call the shots with production, so as of now, I have gotten word that it also has been paused, but I do not call those shots. So as far as I know, it was, but I don't know for how long and why.
I know you're one of the executive producers on the show.
Yeah, I got told that this year.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know, and I was like, what does that mean? I was like, I think just because we share our lives and we produce our own, lives.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that necessarily what that means.
Oh, my girl Taylor.
Thoughts on the video. Thoughts. I think pretending that she doesn't know production is canceled is a little okay.
Well, I guess she was trying to say I didn't do it. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I didn't know. I don't call the shots. I don't call the shots. I didn't know.
Yeah, but it's that's
know,
not even what she asked. She was like, is the season still filming? And she's like, I don't call those shots. I know. And it's
and it's
yeah, but you
okay,
know if the season's filming.
But then it's also it is your fault.
Number one, it is your fault. Also, the well, you're an executive producer was a very funny moment.
I'm also just I think what was missing, or I guess why people got pissed or said that this was a flop, was she, in the backdrop of, if you watch her, if you know her story, if you know everything, if you're even, into not into, but like if you're familiar with the dynamics of domestic violence, you've heard of Darvo.
Yeah.
But like, you know, so she's responding in a way of like, yeah, he's ruined my big day. He's this, that, he did that. And like, I can understand, like, I know what she means with like, he picks like immediately the worst time to like fuck shit up. But when someone's asking you for your response on domestic violence allegations, you don't blame the guy you're accused of, whose ass you're beating, and be like, that is something legal that we're working through. And she didn't acknowledge her role in it, and like, it just came up short.
It felt like a half-baked response in general. It feels very odd to me not to just be like, yeah, the season's paused filming, which is just standard when there's a police-related investigation or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like there has to be something that's like, yeah, with the pending investigation, we just thought it would be best to pause filming. So it's like very weird to see her be like, I don't actually know. And it's like, well, you do know. You're at the center of it and you're the star of the show. So, okay, that is Wednesday, March 18th. On March 19th, TMZ releases a video provided by Dakota of the 2023 domestic violence incident from season 1. So the thing she's arrested for at the end of season 1, I guess Dakota has been sitting on this video for 3 years now, and he released it to TMZ. So now we're going to watch that video. And again, just as a disclaimer, it's a domestic violence incident, and you're going to hear it.
Yeah, yeah, look at you. Look. Yeah, look. This is called physical abuse. Yeah. Yeah. See, Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do is hurt me. Huh? And you think this is okay? It's not okay. Holy shit. I don't give a f. Let me go. Stop. Dude, leave me alone. Oh my gosh. Your daughter is right here. Oh my gosh. Oh my. You're no, you. Stop throwing stuff and help your daughter. Help your daughter. Stop screaming at me.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because it's actually really disturbing.
It's really disturbing.
It's actually very upsetting. So for the listeners, basically what you see at the beginning of the video is like Taylor Frankie Paul is like wrestling on him. She's pushing him. She's kind of like hitting him, etc. And then where things get really bad is she starts throwing these like metal chairs at him. And you hear there's at one point that TMZ adds that little like ping. That's them pointing out that Taylor Frankie Paul's young daughter is in the room and is sitting there as these like chairs are being thrown around. And then as obviously you heard, the daughter starts crying. I mean, it's a really bad video.
It's really bad. It's really, really sad because it's like, it's really sad to think that there are just relationships out there that get people to that point and then they still like, I don't know. I mean, this is just really complicated because like the story that I heard is that like he locked her in the room in a closet or like locked her in the garage, you know, that night. And then she breaks out of that garage and then he starts recording, you know?
Yeah.
And earlier I said DARVO, which is an acronym that means deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. And, you know, again, it means that the perpetrator denies the harm or abuse ever took place. When confronted with evidence, the perpetrator then attacks the person, that's the A, that they harmed or are still harming. And then the attacker may also attack the victim's family or friends. And then finally, the perpetrator claims that they are actually the victim thus reversing the positions of victim and offender. It often, and again, I don't want to say that every man who gets abused is a victim, like is doing Darvel, or that because I like this reality TV person, or because I see this, or like no woman is ever capable, or that even it's okay. I don't even think it's okay that she did it in front of her kid. I don't, but I'm just like, it just feels really, it just like feels really fucked up and unfair in this way where it's like this guy you see through, there's just hours of footage documenting this guy torturing and manipulating and provoking this woman to having these big reactions and then telling everyone she's crazy. This is just an example. And also I'm like, he released this thing, but I'm like, if he really is this great guy, he would have saw her kid and like not done the fight. You know what? Like, I'm just like, the reason the thing hits the kid is also like,
the chair doesn't hit the kid. It's thrown in the room near the kid, and the kid is obviously really disturbed by it. And like, you can't be engaging in that kind of stuff in front of a child. Like, that's just not acceptable. But the thing that you're speaking to is something that a lot of people are talking about online, and like, we'll get into the online conversation, but it's like, okay, we don't know what was going on before that video started recording. We do know that this guy has a history of like manipulation, that they have a very toxic relationship, etc. We don't know what was going on again before he started recording. There's something about his tone once he does start recording and he knows that he's got her on video that my spidey senses tingle in the way that he's like, see, this is what you do. Like, you only hurt me. Like, he knows that he's filming this and that he's got this like smoking gun on her. But all of that being said, you can't start throwing metal chairs around when your fucking kid is in the room. Like, that's actually not cool. You can't throw chairs at people in general. You're not supposed to be doing that. But also, like,
but it's like a lot of fucking people, sadly, like, I'm not saying that it's okay or that it's right, but it's like, this is how a lot of fucked up people deal with their shit, and it's not okay. But it's also like, yeah, but those people aren't like influencing millions of people and don't have a public platform. They're like not in the public eye. But it's just like, yeah, you can't fucking be doing that. It's just also, I'm like, damn, that happened and you continue to fuck with each other. And like, he continues, like, as much as we want to say Taylor, Frankie, Paul, like, he continues to like go after and leech on and like be there every time she has something big to like fuck up her. So I'm just like, it's so sad. It's
I mean, it's just like
all these people.
Such a clearly toxic and horrible relationship, and Taylor Frankie Paul has a lot of work to do on her emotional regulation. Like, it's just, you can't do the things that she did in the video, even though I do think that the questions around what happened before the video, the toxicity of the relationship in general, his treatment of her leading into the video, like, those are all relevant. You can't just say like, no, there's no reason for them to be relevant, etc. But also, you also can't throw chairs at people, and you really can't do it when your kid is in the room. So
you are also a public figure. Like, you certainly can't do that. And also to continue to fuck with this guy too, whether if she just did that in 2023 and never fucked with him again, or even had a kid with him and then they completely cut it off. But it's also like the continuing of the cycle only makes it worse and makes the blow up even worse too.
This was the domestic violence incident from 2023. The thing that actually shut down filming is this other thing that we don't even have video of, and we don't even know what the fuck happened with this other thing. We have the stuff Dakota says happened, but we don't even have Taylor Frankie Paul's version of this story yet, or like her explanation for anything. So, okay, that video comes out. By the end of that very day, The Bachelorette announces that it will not air Taylor Frankie Paul's season. By Friday, Dakota has been granted custody of their son, Evers.
Temporary custody.
But now he's got the temporary restraining order and he's got temporary custody of the son. So Taylor Frankie Paul's in not a great place. We start to get details of the unaired season, which is just crazy because ABC and Hulu, there's a degree to which they fucked up by choosing this Bachelorette. But had this not happened, it seems like this season was going to be nuts because one of the contestants in the season was the driver in the car accident that paralyzed former Congressman Madison Cawthorn.
Yeah, and we've definitely talked about him before.
Yeah, he was like, he's like a Trump 1.0
Yeah, he was
figure.
a Trump 1 Congress guy, but he was like supposed to be like, kind of like a Charlie Kirk figure with like young Republican white
and he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, but he had all this like, he's just
he had weird
problematic.
He had weird sexual stuff.
Yeah, like
right?
he took a picture. There was a picture of him like humping his friend or something. Like,
there was a lot of weird stuff. The point is, the guy who drove the car in the car accident that paralyzed him was one of the contestants, which is completely insane.
Well, also, I think this Bachelor thing was gonna shift from something like The Bachelor to kind of like Flavor of Love, Rock of Love. I feel like it's gonna do something like that.
I mean, I think they had big plans for this to change the way that The Bachelor is talked about and like how The Bachelor works. Oh, also, one of the other contestants was Lana Del Rey's ex-fiance. So it's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, the casting is crazy. So now contestants who were on the season are apparently looking to like sue ABC because, and I don't know if they have a leg to stand on. It does suck that they took a bunch of time off work and did all this
2 months
stuff.
off work. Some of them were single dads because she's a single mom. So
there's also this guy who like supposedly was the winner of the season. And now this guy thought that his life was about to fucking change. And now it's like he's just the footnote to this weird other thing. Obviously, they'll all be fine. But that does fucking suck to think that you're about to win Taylor Frankie Paul's crazy season of The Bachelorette. And then like, actually, no, it's not airing because of stuff that ABC and Hulu knew about before it began.
But people were like, did ABC have the video? Like, if they had the video, if they knew it was out, would they whatever? If it was just that incident, I think it could be like, yeah, that was a big mistake. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have ever. And like, I can't even be around someone who gets me to that level. Like, that's how you should respond. It's like, okay, you shouldn't do that. That fucking sucks. Like, that's unacceptable. But if it happened one time and you did all this shit and you made all this change, do I think that you can still be on TV and like talk about your story and how you turned your life around? Like, I do believe that people can change and all this stuff, but it didn't. And there you keep on. Everyone in your life, like the last episode, everyone's like, if you do not go to The Bachelorette, like we've all made all these sacrifices to help you be there because one of those conditions was that her kids had to be there filming. So her mom went and took her kids. So it's like all these people are making concessions for you to be The Bachelorette. Like you have to go or we're cutting you off. That was kind of the ultimatum. But I'm also like, this is why you don't continue to be with a man who fucking treats you like shit and like all this stuff because like he will ruin you and ruin your whole fucking life.
You know, I've seen a lot of discussion and we're going to get into some of the online response and stuff about like, oh, of course, a woman loses her job over this, but like there are all these football players that have domestic assault allegations that doesn't matter, or convictions even. Chris Brown still tours, like all that stuff. I think, like, I hear that, and I think that that is valid to be like, oh, why is it that like men are able to get away with these things? I think that is a valid conversation, but I do think that in this particular instance, there is no way for them to go forward with the season because of the stuff that you just said, because the relationship with Dakota is so integral to the lead into the season. And then also something you and I talked about separately is like the way The Bachelorette works is that the person who is the Bachelorette is the prize. So the show revolves around that person being someone everyone wants to fall in love with. The Bachelorette is always going to get a favorable edit on The Bachelorette. And so my guess is, especially if we've got a lot of like single dads and stuff on the thing, that her role as a mother is a really important part of the season, that her recovering from toxic love and toxic abuse is probably like a really big arc of the season. The season was already ruined before you go in.
Yeah.
If you know that she's back at it with Dakota in this way by February. And it's hard to have a whole season where we're promoting this woman as like the ultimate prize and this beautiful like single mom. And then we have this kind of horrifying video of her that, yeah, does lack context, but makes her look really fucking bad.
Yeah.
And I do think that if someone who was about to go on The Bachelor did the same thing, that person's season would probably be canceled as well.
I think, too, the sad thing of, like, that I heard about The Bachelorette, what we were going to see and, like, what I heard in the blogosphere about, like, the arc of the season and even what she said about it is, like, this me with these new guys and these new experiences outside of Utah, outside of my environment, like, that's the real me. Like, I'm discovering who I am and who I like and all that stuff, and it's just like, yeah, that would have been good to see. Even like I couldn't have even watched it knowing that like she fucked Dakota the day before, because now she can get a taste of this healthy love, but then to immediately go back, exactly, it ruins it.
So this is what Taylor Frankie Paul has said. Her first statement after the video leaked was, "It's sad to see the latest installment of this never-ending, desperate, attention-seeking, destructive campaign to harm Taylor without any regard for the consequences for their child. Releasing an old video which conveniently omits context on their son's birthday," I guess it was their son's birthday.
Yeah, it was on their son's birthday.
"Is a reprehensible attempt to distract from his own behavior." So that's statement one. And then after the cancellation was announced, a spokesperson for Paul said that she's grateful for ABC's support. And after years of silently suffering extensive mental and physical abuse, as well as threats of retaliation, Taylor is finally gaining the strength to face her accuser and take steps to ensure that she and her children are protected from any further harm. "There are too many women who are suffering in silence as they survive aggressive, jealous ex-partners who refuse to let them move on with their lives. Taylor has remained silent out of fear of further abuse, retaliation, and public shaming. She is currently exploring all her options, seeking support, and preparing to own and share her story." So what are your thoughts on these two statements?
I understand why they put him out. I really do want to see some responsibility from her on like her role in it. It is because of her behavior and her shit that hundreds of people lost their jobs, lost opportunities, lost all that stuff. And like when she's talking about like all the shit Dakota did, while it is relevant and it is important, at the end of the day, if you really did not want to see this guy ever again in your fucking life, you could have it that way. You do have enough power. It's sad because nobody in her life makes her feel that way and all that stuff. But it's like at a certain point with certain resources and certain things, you have to love yourself enough to like get your shit together and not whatever. And also like accept responsibility. So
Yeah.
I do understand though that like maybe you don't want to accept responsibility when you're currently litigating custody. Like she doesn't want to say, yeah, I shouldn't have beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
When she's like debating with a judge on if she is a safe person.
Yeah.
I'll hold space for that. But I personally am saying like it's going to be hard for her to do any kind of public thing until that
Yeah, I think the tone of the first statement in particular, I'm like, we're way too defensive and we're being way too reality TV-y here.
Yeah.
We need to like
tone it
down a lot, because if you look online, like there are people who are sympathetic to the idea that there's context missing from that video and that he has caused you a lot of harm for years leading up to it. We can touch on that, but I agree with you. I think that the first statement should have been focused on like, I'm really sorry that because of this and because of this drama in my personal life, this work that all these other people did isn't going to be able to come out. And she can kind of leave the other stuff when she can say something. Because I think you're right that there's like a lot of legal considerations that she's probably figuring out in like how she can speak, which is probably why she hasn't like given more details. But this thing of like, I'll be speaking soon, it comes off, because you're trying to figure out what to say. Even though there's a valid reason for that, it's like, I wouldn't even get into this stuff of like, I'm going to be owning my story soon or whatever. I'm like, that first statement should have just been like, This is really unfortunate. There's context missing from the video, but my focus right now is on my children, and I'm really, really sorry to everyone involved in the season. I wish you could have met these guys. They were really nice guys. Like, we got to just
Yeah,
put it
that
there.
would have been great. And even also, like, there's context missing, but that behavior was unexcusable.
Yeah.
Also, like, there's talk about, like, is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives even going to come back?
Well, so, okay, that's where I wanted to end this, is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Season 5 is halted. Layla Taylor was the first of the Mormon wives to break her silence on Friday. She posted an Instagram story statement saying, "My personal history as a survivor makes it impossible for me to stay silent. I stand firmly against domestic violence in any form." Then Miranda McWhorter was the next one who posted a story saying, "I've honestly been a little at a loss for words trying to process this all. Everything has been really heavy to see. Domestic violence and abuse of any kind is something I take very seriously. As a human, and especially as a mother, I cannot support this kind of behavior. My heart is with the children in this, and I hope they're safe and supported and surrounded by love." So where I just wanted to end with you today is, what do we think is next for Mormon Wives? Can Taylor come back to Mormon Wives?
Some people are like, there's no Mormon Wives without Taylor. I think, first of all, Taylor needs to take a year off from everything. But then I'm like, can she? Can she, like, not post? I don't know. I don't know if she can survive a year. And, like, there's some rumors that, like, she's going to get sued by ABC or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or that she's suing. So there's some legal stuff. Taylor needs to go year off, like, permanent restraining order. She needs to talk to Dakota through an app. No Musk.
Like, literally,
No
like,
Musk.
they need to go no contact, obviously.
No contact forever. That's it. Like, period, done. I think Mormon Wives has a lot of enough juice going there without her that it's still interesting.
Look at what's going on with Whitney. Like, Whitney Levitt, like, was the villain, and now she did her Dancing with the Stars thing. Now she's Roxy on Broadway. Like, there is juice. And also, I do think a season that, like, probably they've recorded some episodes with her, and then it halts, and they have to deal with the fallout of, like, these women realizing, like, okay, we can't fuck with this girl anymore. We can't do the show with her anymore. One of the things you've always said about Mormon Wives that's interesting and makes it different from a lot of these other reality shows is that they do talk about production.
Yeah.
In a lot of other reality shows, you act like the cameras aren't there and they don't talk about the actual inner workings of production and stuff, but Mormon Wives does. So because the structure of the show works like that, I think that they can continue without her.
Absolutely.
I think she definitely has to, like, she's going to have to sit season 5 out at a bare minimum, depending on what it is that she says her story is, where public opinion lands with all of that stuff. Maybe she could come back. But the other thing is, ABC and Hulu are fucking pissed at her, I'm so sure. So I don't know if they want to bring her. Like, there's also an element of, like, I'm sure that they're very, 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 very unhappy with her, and they might not want to bring her back just because they're like, we're done with her. You completely fucked our Bachelor reboot, even though, like, they kind of also fucked themselves. There's a whatever.
And I'm also like, will they say no to anybody in the future?
I know. I mean, it's hard to imagine a TV exec, like, if they think that bringing Taylor Frankie Paul back would give them money, like, it's hard to imagine they would say no. But I do think that as of right now, they're probably looking for heads to roll on this thing, and head number one that they want to roll is probably hers. Anyway, should we move on to the story of another complicated young woman?
Another complicated woman.
You know that feeling when a story just grabs you and won't let go? That's the kind of drama that's waiting for you on Disney Plus Hulu. Mysterious post-apocalyptic thrillers like the acclaimed Hulu original, Paradise. Action-adventure dramas like Daredevil, Born Again. And iconic medical dramas like Grey's Anatomy. Or maybe you want your drama with a side of comic relief with shows like High Potential. Find the drama you want on Disney Plus and Hulu with a bundle subscription. Terms apply.
This week's Grasshole of the Week is a special case.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes grassholes are deemed so because they violate the rules of online social behavior. And sometimes they have the rare crossover effect of being both a grasshole and an asshole that violates in-person social behavior. And our grasshole of this week violated one of the biggest social rules, which is don't be mean to children. and and then also one of the biggest online rules this week, which is don't piss off Brazilian fans. So our grasshole of this week, if you haven't heard, is a pop star by the name of Chappell Roan.
Oh, Chappell.
Oh, Chappell.
I'm a big fan. I'll come out right now. I'm a big Chappell fan.
I was an early adopter Chappell fan.
I love her.
She's made Pink Pony Club, Hot to Go. She's queer. She invokes a lot of like drag imagery, very fun, costumey, all this stuff. She has about 7.8 million followers on Instagram. So she's a pretty sizable pop star. She has a reputation of being a little like sassy, specifically to paparazzi. And she has come out multiple times and like spoken out against like people violating her boundaries and taking it too far and all that stuff.
Yeah. And people are always going back and forth about like, is it too much? Does Chappell Roan hate her fans? Or is she right to establish these boundaries and good for her? And like, fuck the paparazzi. So there's always, she always is inducing discourse on that level.
The other players in here are Brazilian fans. They have a reputation of being very, very vocal, especially on Twitter, but online they run all the like fan pages of like Doja Cat, all this and that. So like they're a big, huge maker of a lot of artists from all over the world.
Yeah.
But a lot of American artists too, and like
it's like a meme online that anytime an artist posts anything, half the responses are like, come to Brazil, come to Brazil, come to Brazil. Like that's like a common thing that people talk about.
Yeah, so it's like, and also like the day that Twitter was banned in Brazil for like 2 weeks or something like a year ago, that was the day where it was like half of the accounts on Twitter were like, actually, I've been Brazilian this whole time. I'm so sorry. Like, even like perfect English, whatever. So it's just like, there's that, right? So this past weekend, Chappell Roan was in Sao Paulo to headline Lollapalooza, Brazil. Also this weekend, soccer superstar named Jorge Luis Ferrello Filho Cavalieri, also known as Jorginho, I guess Jorginho, something. So he's this Brazilian, Italian, very, very good soccer player.
Okay.
He was 2021 third place Ballon d'Or finisher. So it's like he's really good even recently. You know, it's not like he was a retired soccer star. He's like still a huge soccer star. And he has about 5 million followers on Instagram. So he posts this. I went through a very upsetting situation with my family earlier today. My wife, at Kat Cavelli, is in Sao Paulo for at Lollapalooza, Brazil. This morning, my daughter woke up incredibly excited. She even made a sign because she was so happy to see an artist she really admires, or used to admire, at Chappell Roan, he answered. By coincidence, they're staying at the same hotel as this artist. During breakfast, the artist walked past their table. My daughter, like any child, recognized her, got excited, and just wanted to make sure it was really her. And the worst part is she didn't even approach her. She simply walked past the singer's table, looked to confirm it was her, and smiled and went back to sit with her mom. She didn't say anything and she didn't ask for anything. What happened next was completely disproportionate. A large security guard came over to their table where they were both still having breakfast and began speaking in an extremely aggressive manner to both my wife and my daughter, saying that they shouldn't allow my daughter to, quote, disrespect or, quote, harass other people. Honestly, I don't know what to say at this point. Simply walking past the table and looking to see if someone is there can be considered harassment. He even said he would file a complaint against them with the hotel while my 11-year-old daughter was sitting there in tears. My daughter was extremely shaken and cried a lot. I live with football, public exposure and well-known people for many years, and I understand very well what respect and boundaries are. What happened there was not that. It was just a child admiring someone. It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of fans. At the end of the day, they are the ones who build all of this. I sincerely hope this serves as a moment of reflection. No one should have to go through this, especially not a child. At Chappell Roan, so then he tags her again. And then he also, this is the second part, so it's a long thing, right? It says, at Chappell Roan, without your friends, you would be nothing. And to the fans, she does not deserve your affection. And then it screenshotted Chappell Roan's Instagram page. And also, there's a picture of his daughter with an with a hot to go sign that says HOTTOGO. I am watching Chappell Roan. And you can tell that she wrote it. Yeah. So Alise, what do you say to that?
It's not good.
It's not good for our girl.
It's not good for our girl. I just wonder if maybe something about this super hardline persona that she's taken of I maintain boundaries with my fans and I maintain boundaries with the press. If maybe that trickled down to a way where this security guard felt very empowered to go up to this child and be really shitty to the kid.
This immediately blows up on all social media. All these people are reacting and it's is it true? Is it not? Who is this guy? What's going on? Whatever. So some fake stuff comes out. So I see this fake Instagram story that comes out on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that she put it up and then she immediately took it down. But it says this, and Alise, I'll have you read it.
Okay. And this is not a real Instagram story.
This is not a real Instagram story, but I want you to hear, if you would believe it.
Okay. I've seen the recent backlash and I have been receiving a lot of messages about the situation. I want to start by saying that I have always been very clear about my boundaries when I'm on stage performing in drag at a work event or doing press. I am working. Outside of that, I am not in work mode. I am a person and I am allowed to exist privately. I just woke up. I deserve my space, especially in moments like breakfast. I don't play about my breakfast. This does not take away from the gratitude and love I have for my supporters. I appreciate the people who respect boundaries and understand that admiration does not equal access. Respectfully, please understand that boundaries are not personal. They are necessary. I mean, I would believe this.
I believe this.
Yeah, if I saw this came across my feed, I would believe that she had posted that. It is very much in the tone and realm of stuff that she has done and said. And she is known, part of her little reputation is that she'll sometimes pop off online in a way where I'm ooh, you should have thought about what you said before you said that a little bit more. We can't even get into the political Kamala of it all, but
yeah.
But that whoever wrote that fake Chappell Roan post is very well aware of her reputation, how she expresses herself online, and crafted something that is very believable.
That wasn't real, but what ends up popping up is this video of somebody took of Chappell in the airport, and I'm just gonna play it, and then you can just tell me what you see.
Okay, so we've got Chappell in a sweatshirt. She's walking through the airport. There's a security guard in front of her. So she points to someone who's filming her, and then the security guard points at that person and seems to be telling them, you can't film.
It's a moment, again, that started circulating online. So in conjunction with this story comes out, this fake Instagram story comes out of her response, and then somebody clips this video. This is a stream from her performance of Lollapalooza Brazil with the caption, "So you're on the news all over the world getting rightfully called out because one of your securities, and you think it's a good idea to thank your security team on stage? Good luck for you, Chappell Roan." So let's watch this thing where she thanks her security guard.
So this is our 33rd show of the Damsels tour. I do not know when I will be going on tour again, so this is the last one. I'm so grateful it's here. What a wonderful been all around the world. I'm so grateful, so thank you. And thank you to my crew and my security and my band and everyone behind the scenes. This takes a lot of people, so thank you.
Yeah, I guess for me, it seems like she's just thanking everyone who's involved in her team. So that feels like a little
overreach.
I mean, I guess maybe she could have omitted the security guard because of the drama, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. It seems like she's just thanking her entire team and staff in that instance. That might be a little it might be a little bit overreach or whatever for them to be like, oh, she's thanking them.
Yeah. I wanted to show that all of the stuff that's happening, and then all this stuff, like, some of it is justified, some of it is based on her her old reputation, and some of it is fans reaching.
Yeah.
And then she posted, I think after that, so the soccer player posts the Instagram story, then all this stuff comes up, then Chappell performs, thanks to security, like, people bitch about that. Then I think that night she's in her hotel and she records this video.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell my half of the story of what happened today with a mother and child who were involved with a security guard who is not my personal security. I didn't even see a woman and a child. Like, no one came up to me. No one bothered me. Like, I was just sitting at breakfast in my hotel. I think these people were staying at the hotel as well. So the fact that, like, a security guard I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me. They weren't doing anything. It's unfair for security to just assume someone doesn't have good intentions when they have no reason to believe because there's no action even taken. Like, I do not hate people who are fans of my music. I do not hate children. Like, that is crazy. I'm sorry to the mother and child that someone was assuming something, that you would do something, and that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve that.
So, what do you think about this apology?
I think she could have done with not being laying in bed, like, in her hotel room. But I think the laying in bed style is maybe not hitting. I could believe that the security guard acted without her explicit knowledge, potentially, like that she might not have realized that this had all gone down. But I think that this reputation that she has taken and this kind of hard line that she's taken about her boundaries, not to say that that's even wrong, has maybe created an aggressive security situation around her. Like, in the video that we see of her walking through the airport, it's like she's pointing at someone with a phone and that security guard is going over to them with the phone. So it does seem like if that is the level to which you're micromanaging how anyone interacts with you,
yeah,
then that does create a situation where, like, one of these guys might take it too far, you know? And if this is like an outside security guy that's part of Lollapalooza and you don't know, and they just get this top-down thing that's like, Chappell Roan doesn't like anybody fucking coming up to her. Stop anybody who's coming up to Chappell Roan. Then, yeah, security guards might be aggressive, and it is kind of like the buck stops with you. Like, these people do represent you. I think it's good that she said, like, you guys didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
But she has this tone of, like, guys, this is so stupid. I don't hate children, blah, blah, blah.
And it's also like, well, this didn't come from, like, you hating children. It's like, you have expressed over and over again, like, that you don't like fans. Your need for boundaries and your need, like, that is very important, sometimes leads into outright animosity to the people that are your fans.
Yeah.
And that has been a problem with her for whatever. And right now, her claims in the video, she's making a few claims. She's saying, one, the security guard was not my personal security guard. They did not belong to me. Two, I didn't see a mother and a child, so I don't even know what happened. No one came up to me. No one bothered me. Three, that security guard, if this did happen, like, happened on their own, like, they did it on their own. That was not my responsibility. I didn't tell anybody to go after them. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And three, like, it's ridiculous that you even assume that I hate children or I hate my fans or anything. And that, like, it's unfortunate, so it's all these things of, like, there's no acknowledgement of, like, how even someone could assume, So there's, like, kind of two camps, right? Online. There's one camp that's like, okay, Chappell Roan, like, that guy made it up. That guy's lying on Chappell Roan. She said she didn't do it. She didn't do it. Like, this guy's just doing it for attention and clout, which to some people were like, no, fuck you. Like, this is a soccer player who's like more. So there's.
I don't see why a soccer player would need to like make up a weird story about Chappell Roan. I feel like it definitely happened.
Yeah. And then there's the other side, which a lot of people don't buy it. They call it full of shit. Somebody says, so just to clarify, she expects me to believe that hotel, and this is from @Shuhei, which @Ming says, so just to clarify, she, meaning Chappell, expects me to believe that hotel security went to harass other paying guests on their behalf without being asked to. Another tweet that I thought was really funny from @Sarah Pinkney says, y'all apologizing to Raggedy Ann like we aren't about to be right back here in a few months tops. And then this one was the most iconic tweet that said, the worst part is Chappell was counting on that kid being a Kia, or a Kaya, or whatever. That girl mama went straight to her husband and said, get her. And then it's like a video from Baddies where like the head of Baddies is like, whoop that girl's ass. People are suggesting that Chappell does this all the time, but also like that she didn't know it was the daughter of a famous soccer player. And as this shit is coming out, not only is the daughter of a soccer player, she's the daughter of a singer and the daughter of Jude Law. That is Jude Law's daughter, and the soccer player is actually her stepfather.
Oh!
That got married to the mother last year.
So yeah, what they're trying to say is like, oh, Chappell Roan treated this little girl this way because they thought she was just some dumb little girl. And then it's like, no, this is actually a very well-connected little girl, and you fucked with the wrong people.
Yeah. So finally, the wife of the soccer player, Jude Law's baby mama, the girl's mother, comes out with a 6-minute video.
Oh boy.
And this has 20 million views right now on Twitter. I will say that fake Instagram story that I told you that I made you read, that had 9 million views.
Yeah.
This woman is also beautiful, by the way.
Yeah,
and
it makes
like,
sense.
Oh, yeah, I'm like, oh, now I see why this woman pulled an incredibly amazing soccer player and Jude Law. But she does this 6-minute story.
Ooh, yeah, she's gorgeous. She's so beautiful.
So we're going to skip the first 2 minutes where she just like, I've gotten a lot of messages about this. Like, people are saying this isn't true. Like, this is bullshit. And then we'll just start with 2 minutes in.
What happened exactly as she said, she didn't notice anything or anyone because, as my husband said, nothing happened. Literally, we were staying in the same hotel. We were at breakfast, and we noticed a girl walk past with long red hair, very curly. And I said to my daughter, "Oh, do you think that's Chappell Roan?" And she looked and she said, "Oh my God, Mum, do you think it's her?" And so she said, "I'm going to go and have a look outside." And she was sat just outside in the garden area, which we were also free to go into. The door was open. And so I went back to the table to sit and eat, and my daughter walked through the door. She didn't have her phone. She didn't try to take a picture. She didn't approach her. She literally didn't do anything. She just looked at her and smiled. And she came back and she actually said to me, "Mum, I don't know if it's her." Because obviously she looks like, with her costumes and everything, she looks a little bit different. So my daughter said, "Oh my gosh, I'm not sure if it was her. I think it was her, Mum. It really, really looks like her, but I don't know. Maybe it's her sister." She said, maybe it's her sister. And I said, oh, I don't know, darling. And that was it. We continued our breakfast. And from that, then came the security guard, who, as I said, as my husband said, sorry, had a very aggressive tone. And I feel like if she did not send him, I mean, even if she did send him or she didn't send him, I don't know. For me, I feel like it really overstepped a boundary, because he is quite he is very large. So for him to come over to a table with just a woman and her daughter eating breakfast, to kind of like berate and scold us and say that he was going to complain and tell me that I should be teaching my daughter to be better and that she's badly educated and we should respect people's privacy and we should not harass people and all of these other things. And I did try and explain to him the situation, that she's a child and she was just very excited to see her an artist and singer that she admires, and can he not understand that was all she was doing. And I explained to him also that my husband is also very well known, and that she's very used to being around people that are well known, and she would never cross someone's boundaries or overstep a mark. She very much knows the limits, not to ever, be rude or make anyone feel. She understands very well. And I tried to explain this to him, and then he just kept saying, well, if that's the case, then you should know better. You should know how it is. You should know how it is. So you should teach her to be better. You shouldn't allow her to be like this.
She says, I know for certain that the guy was not the hotel.
Yeah.
It was her personal guy.
Yeah, I don't buy that this guy worked for the hotel. I think that this definitely happened. What I will say is I could believe that maybe Chappell wasn't fully 100% aware that this was happening, but I do think that she has probably given very explicit instructions to her team that's like, if anyone tries to take pictures of me or talk to me or fuck with me
or looks at me
any kind of way, like, I want you to stop them. And that this guy took that directive too far and went and harassed a mother and a young child.
But I'm just like, no one would just act on their own behalf. No one would just do that without prompting. You know what I mean? And I think it's extremely fucked up for Chappell. Like, I think it was like the wrong one on the right day, and it was bound to happen where she. Also, I'm just like, yeah, if you don't want to talk to anyone, why are you staying at a big hotel? Like,
that's kind of my other thing.
You're in Brazil. You can get your own Airbnb with a chef.
Yeah, like, that's my other thing. Because on the one hand, like, I do think that Chappell Roan has brought valid conversations about, like, what can be expected about people with fans and stuff. Like, fan culture, stan culture has gotten out of hand. People do take it too far. People shouldn't be running up to random celebrities and touching them and whatever. So that's a valid conversation. But I think this has become so much part of her identity that now she has like this kind of weirdly emboldened security team situation where she can just point at anyone and be like, that person's looking at me and that person's taking a picture of me. And so maybe she did see the mother and child and she was like, that little girl's coming over here or something. And then the security guard went over and said what he said. Maybe she didn't, but because there is just a carte blanche thing of like, if you notice anybody who might be coming over to me, you got to stop them. That's how you end up in this situation.
And, again, I think you make a great point of like, she brought up a lot of things that are appropriate, she brought up a lot of conversation. I'm just like, yes, some stars, like, there are boundaries and stuff like that. There are some things where I'm like, yeah, babe, you're doing a press tour for a movie you're in. People are going to ask you questions, or like, that is a likely place for a fan to interact with you. When you're in a private dinner with your family in your hometown, people should not be coming up to you. But if you're like headlining the biggest fucking show of the country of the year and you're at a popular, expensive hotel, that is part of being famous, girl. That, sometimes a little girl's going to walk by your table and get excited to see you.
Right. This little girl didn't ask her for anything. And that's obviously true because Chappell Roan is saying she didn't even see this little girl. So this little girl obviously did not get in her face, didn't do anything, just looked at her. And if you really, truly feel that you do not want to be in a situation where someone who recognizes you're a major Grammy award-winning pop star, right? She got she got Best New Artist, didn't she?
Yeah, she won a bunch of
she's very famous. The point is she's really fucking famous. She's in town for a really big deal. So the idea that her fans are probably at this hotel as well to see the event that she is in is high. If a little girl walking by your table and seeing you is something that really feels like a boundary violation to you, then you shouldn't have dinner in the hotel. I'm sorry. You can have, like, it's one thing to be like, don't bother me while I'm eating, don't come up to me, that's different. But to be like, don't see me and acknowledge that you've seen me as a celebrity, babe, you can't be eating at the hotel. I'm sorry. Or
like, go up to this little girl who saw me and berate her and her mother.
Yeah. Who saw her? Like, the little girl didn't do anything.
I'm just like, her daddy's Jude Law. Like, she knows how to purport herself around celebrity. So I just feel like, again, Chappell is so on this, like, and perhaps maybe she's in this bubble where everyone has made her think that, like, your standards and your, like, unrealistic expectations of not being seen when you don't want to be seen is not in reality, and you need to go fucking log off the internet and also go touch grass and, like, get fucking real.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be seen at a popular Sao Paulo hotel when you're about to do Lollapalooza. Like, sorry.
And I think that this thing about her and boundaries with fans and paparazzis has become so central to her public persona that she maybe did not realize the ways in which it can go wrong. And, like, you know, she's very young, but at this point it's like, we need to figure some of this stuff out. Like, the buck stops with you. And if you're giving your security team really hard line messaging about how nobody should be allowed to approach you and talk to you, then like, it's going to be on you when the security team oversteps and fucks up and yells at a mother and a child. And, like, even if you didn't 100% realize that's what was happening, the reason that happened is because you have created a system around yourself where the idea is that you should be protected from any unsolicited fan interaction of any kind in any space, anywhere.
Boy. And for the crime of getting your security guard to yell at a little girl and a mother and then lying about it, like, she straight up lied about it. She lied about it.
And
she
you know what else? This is another crime we talked about last week. Getting sanctimonious on Instagram story. I'm sick of the biggest crime of all is to be sanctimonious on Instagram story.
I just love that first of all, I just love this soccer player. I don't know anything about, before we call her whatever, but that the soccer player was like, you're not going to talk to my fucking new wife and my stepdaughter. And then you go on the soccer player's Instagram and it's all like their blended family, and they did like a whole family Halloween costume. They were just like so cute. And I'm just like, she fucked with the wrong one.
Yeah.
So for and that the guy tagged her multiple times. You know what? And for that crime, Chappell Roan, go touch grass.
That's our episode.
That's our episode. We fucking did
it. It's going to be just me and Millie for the next, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to get deep. We're going to be able to go real deep on some very fun. I mean, who knows what the topics will be? They might not be fun. I actually can't say. But the point is, get excited for all that.
Maybe another Mormon wife, beats the shit out of somebody.
Maybe another Mormon wife has something good happen to her.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Let us pray.
Let
And
us
until
pray.
then,
Go touch grass.
Go Touch Grass is created and hosted by Alise Morales and Millie Tamers.
And our theme song is by Doug Wydick.
You know that feeling when a story just grabs you and won't let go? That's the kind of drama that's waiting for you on Disney Plus Hulu. Mysterious post-apocalyptic thrillers like the acclaimed Hulu original, Paradise. Action-adventure dramas like Daredevil, Born Again. And iconic medical dramas like Grey's Anatomy. Or maybe you want your drama with a side of comic relief with shows like High Potential. Find the drama you want on Disney Plus and Hulu with a bundle subscription. Terms apply.